Let's be honest, you're probably using AI the exact same way you were 6 months ago. And if you are, it's kind of like buying a brand new Tesla just to use the USB port to charge your phone. There's so much more under the hood. You see, the model that Google just dropped doesn't just answer you, it actually thinks before it speaks. So let's break this down. I spent the last couple weeks absolutely buried in the research papers, the leaked hardware specs, the developer docs, and what I found is a genuine fundamental shift. This isn't just an upgrade. We are on the verge of moving from a world of simple Q&A to something way, way more powerful. And this right here is the whole story. On one side, you have the AI we all know. It's a prediction engine. I mean, it's brilliant at pattern matching and guessing the next word. But on the other side, that's what's next. A reasoning engine. An AI that plans, that strategizes, and that checks its own work before it even thinks about giving you an answer.
Now here's the crazy part. This huge leap forward in intelligence, it doesn't even start with the software. Nope, it starts with the silicon, with the chip itself. And this is the piece of the puzzle that almost everyone is missing. See, Google built Gemini 3.2 right alongside a brand new custom piece of hardware, the TPU v7 Ironwood. And if that name doesn't ring a bell, it's because it's not even officially out yet. This is all from leaked specs. The hardware and the software were literally born together, designed for each other, giving Google an edge that right now, nobody else has. So what's the big deal with this chip? Well, it uses something called a systolic array. Okay, think of it this way. A normal processor is like a chef who has to run back to the fridge for every single ingredient. It's a ton of wasted steps. A systolic array, that's like a chef who has every ingredient perfectly prepped and lined up on the counter, ready to go. The data just flows. And you can see the difference right here. The old way is this clunky back and forth fetch and write process. The new way just gets rid of that whole bottleneck. Now, this perfect marriage of hardware and software unlocks something Google calls inference time scaling. All that really means is the AI can think longer and harder about a tough problem without the cost and time exploding. And that efficiency is what makes the headline feature possible. So you have this incredibly powerful hardware foundation. What do you build on top of it? Well, you build the model's absolute core capability, a reasoning mode called DeepThink. And folks, this is where the game completely changes. With a normal AI, you're getting a really, really fancy autocomplete. But when you give Gemini 3.2 a truly difficult problem, we're talking university-level math, complex scientific analysis, it kicks into deep think mode. And before you even see the cursor start to blink, the model is already hard at work behind the scenes. It dives into this three-stage pipeline. First, it breaks your big, messy problem down into smaller, bite-sized pieces. Second, it starts exploring a bunch of different ways to solve it at the same time, kind of like a chess grandmaster thinking 10 moves ahead. And third, and this is the absolute kicker, it runs loops to check its own work for mistakes before it ever shows you the final answer. Okay, that all sounds great on a slide, but does it actually work? Well, there's a test called the ARC AGI-2 benchmark. It's pretty much the gold standard for measuring an AI's real-world problem-solving skills. On that test, DeepThink scored an 84.6%. And I know, a number by itself doesn't mean a whole lot, but look at this chart. This is not a small incremental improvement. That is a 30-point lead over OpenAI's best model. That's not just a lead, that's a blowout. On the one test that matters for true reasoning, Google is just gone. That's got to be terrifying for the competition. And it doesn't stop there. It also smoked GPT on another expert-level test and showed a ridiculous 20x improvement on another. Now, there is a trade-off. All that thinking takes time, so DeepThink has higher latency. But Google's not positioning this to replace your everyday chatbot. It's a special mode you activate when you need depth, not just speed. So if you have an AI that can actually reason like this, what's the first thing you do with it? Well, that brings us to what might be the most underrated part of this whole announcement, a platform called anti-gravity. And this platform opens the door to something people are starting to call vibe coding. Just imagine this for a second. Instead of writing code, you just describe the feel of what you want, the vibe, and the model just builds it. We're not talking about a landing page. We're talking about a fully interactive 3D game or a polished app, all from a single sentence. And here's the key. Anti-gravity isn't a code editor. It's more like a mission control center. Your job isn't to write the code anymore. You're the architect. You set the high-level goals, and you direct a team of AI agents who do all the heavy lifting for you. And these agents have two superpowers that actually make them useful.
Browser in the loop means they can literally see the app they're building just like you would. They can click buttons, test layouts, the whole 9 yards. And thought signatures? Well, you know how AI can sometimes forget what you were talking about 5 minutes ago? This solves that. It's like a perfect memory for the AI. And this isn't just a cool demo. They ran a simulation where AI agents had to manage a vending machine business for a whole year. Look at these results. The Gemini agent ended up with nearly 3 times the net worth of the GPT equivalent. And it all came down to one thing: its ability to make smart, consistent, long-term decisions. Okay, so that's what's coming for developers, which is amazing. But what about for the rest of us? This is where Gemini stops feeling like a tool you use and starts feeling like a partner you have. Google is calling this personal intelligence. And just think about a question like this. A normal AI would just give you a list of vegetarian restaurants. But a true digital partner can look at your calendar, see your 2 p.m. meeting, search your email for that receipt from last month, check your Maps history to remember where you were, and then give you the one perfect answer. It does this by plugging Gemini into your whole Google world, your Gmail, your Docs, your calendar, everything. And it adds some wild new features like being able to just have a conversation with Maps. And I know what you're thinking. What about my privacy? Google was smart here. All of these connections are turned off by default. You are in complete control of what it sees. When you zoom out, this is about more than just convenience. It's about a new way of looking at the roadmap to AGI, to artificial general intelligence. And Google's plan is starting to get a lot clearer. Earlier this year, DeepMind published this paper that basically said, look, let's stop arguing about whether something is or isn't AGI. Instead, they proposed we should measure AI models across 10 different cognitive skills, almost like a report card. And when you grade Gemini 3.2 on that scale, it's the first model to hit what the researchers are calling the elite tier for reasoning. And all of this seems to be building towards Google's big developer conference in May 2026. The entire community is expecting the full rollout of the even more powerful Ultra model, way deeper AI integration in Android, and there are even rumors swirling about a brand new AI-first operating system. So this isn't just another model update. It looks like they're rebuilding their entire ecosystem around an AI that can actually think. So, look, here's the bottom line. Gemini 3.2 marks a real shift. It's a move from AI that just predicts to AI that truly reasons, from chatbots that just answer to agents that actually do things. The question isn't if this is going to change the way you work. That's already happening. The real question is, are you going to be the one directing it, or are you going to be the one left trying to catch up?